Okay, so today we're diving into one of the biggest, most persistent problems in AI, right?
The
Hallucination.
big lie, yeah. When the model just makes things up.
Exactly. And we're looking at a new framework. It's called QuacoRAG. The whole idea is to uh, stop trusting what the AI thinks it knows.
And start fact-checking what it actually saw.
That's the perfect way to put it.
Yeah, so our mission today, for you listening, is to really understand how QuCo-RAG just completely changes the guardrails for these large language models.
And we're talking about dynamic RAG, right? The system where the model decides for itself when it needs to go look something up.
That's the one. And traditionally, that decision was based on the model's own, self-assessment, its own internal confidence score.
Which we know is the weak link. The sources are really clear on this.
Oh, it's the weakest link. LLMs they're not calibrated well. They're often incredibly confident about things that are just plain wrong.
That confidently wrong problem, it's like someone who read a headline once and now they're an expert.
Exactly. So QuCo-RAG replaces that faulty internal feeling with something they call corpus-grounded verification.
Corpus-grounded verification. I like that. So it's less about asking the model, hey, are you sure about that?
And much more like asking the entire library it was trained on, did this relationship ever actually exist in your pages? We're moving from subjective feelings to objective statistics.
So how does it actually do that check? I read it's like a two-step process to quantify the uncertainty and decide when to retrieve info.
It is, yeah. The first check happens before the model even starts generating a response.
Before it writes a single word.
Right. It proactively identifies what it calls low-frequency entities. Think of it as a check for rarity.
So if a term is super obscure, something in the long tail of the data.
Exactly. That's an immediate red flag. The system knows the model is on thin ice and is way more likely to hallucinate.
Okay, that makes sense. That's the pre-flight check. What's the second stage?
The second stage is amazing. It happens during generation, as it's writing.
In real time.
Yep. It verifies entity co-occurrence. So let's say the model generates a sentence like, Leonardo da Vinci painted the Sistine Chapel ceiling.
Which, of course, he didn't. That was Michelangelo.
Right. The system would instantly check the training corpus and find zero or near zero co-occurrence of Da Vinci and painted the Sistine Chapel. That's an objective, verifiable sign of high hallucination risk.
But wait a minute. Checking 4 trillion tokens for something like that? It sounds computationally insane. How do they pull that off without it taking forever?
Well, that's the real magic trick here. Both of these stages are powered by a technology called Infini-gram,
Infini-gram.
and it lets them run these incredibly complex statistical queries over that massive data set in, get this, milliseconds.
Milliseconds, that's what makes it practical.
It's what makes the whole dynamic system actually work. And the results they got from this are just, well, they're really strong.
I saw that. When they tested it with Olmo 2 models, the gains were huge.
They were. They achieved exact match gains of, 5 to 12 points over the current state-of-the-art baselines? That's a massive jump in getting the answer perfectly correct.
And it wasn't just for models where they had the training data, right? It showed it could be model agnostic.
Totally. It transferred effectively to models like Llama, Qwen, even GPT, where the training data is a black box. And in some of those cases, the improvement was up to 14 points.
Wow. So it really validates that this whole objective corpus-based paradigm is the way to go.
It establishes a principled, really reliable guardrail. It proves the best safety check isn't the model's internal feeling, but its ability to check against its own foundation.
So I think our core takeaway is pretty clear. Objective corpus statistics are just a far, far more reliable guardrail than a model's often misplaced self-confidence.
Absolutely. And that leaves us with a pretty big question, something for you to mull over. If the accuracy of an AI's output is so fundamentally tied to historical co-occurrence in its training data, what does that imply about new knowledge? Can these systems ever truly invent something novel, or can they only become more and more clever at just recombining what's already been said?